Hi. Okay, so this is how y'all gonna get me today because my hair look a little bit of like a mess and I don't really feel like showing it, even though it look kind of crazy that I'm just showing this little piece. But and also I had to put on a filter. I don't know why I looked so pale. This camera was making me look so pale. But anyway, before I get started, before I forget, because I be forgetting. Y'all know I'm like new to the. Hey, get out of that, boy. Sorry, that's the Rock trying to be nosy all up in the suitcases. Anyway, yeah, so go ahead and like and subscribe if you have been enjoying these testimonies, the today's testimonies, and if you want to hear more and see more and all of that good stuff, okay? Also, I try to definitely put anything that I'm referencing in the descriptions. So if you're looking for the verse that I was talking about, or if I know like the last one I referenced a video song, I have all of that information in the descriptions. Okay? All right. So this one is a recent testimony. Oh my gosh, I'm showing my hair a little bit. Okay, so this one is a recent testimony. Recent as in not even 24 hours ago. And so I wanted to kind of start off with yesterday. Today Saturday. Yesterday was Black Friday, Friday after Thanksgiving. And obviously Thursday was Thanksgiving. So we had went to Miami for Thanksgiving, and we had got a notification at the house that there was like a motion at the patio. And I was like, motion at the patio? Who was at the patio, right? Because ain't nobody supposed to be back there. Nobody's at the house. So, and the only reason why I kind of got a little skeptical is because one of the lots behind, not behind us, but behind our neighbors, they actually just tore down the trees and stuff. So now you have a clear, unfortunately, a clear view to the street, right? And so I was like, I don't, I didn't really think anybody walked up on our patio or anything or in our backyard. But again, the notification going off when we're not there, it's just kind of like, what is going on? So I looked and there was nothing. It was just the bugs. The bugs. It was just the bugs that flew in front of the camera and triggered the camera. So then I changed the setting to do spotlight or whatever. And so now anytime, something, if it catches motion, it cuts on the spotlight. So it's going to be bright out there. So I was telling Brandon, Brandon's my husband, FYI. I was telling Brandon, while we was driving, I can't remember if we was coming back home or I don't think we were. I think we were driving, to go meet up with one of his friends or after. I don't remember. All I know is we was in the car. Okay. And we started talking about, like the visions that God had given both of us, honestly, and how they just are going to come very quickly. And so this is kind of like a loaded testimony in and of itself that's not fully unveiled yet. So the lot behind us, that's a testimony loading. The visions that I'm talking about are testimonies loading. And that kind of just got confirmation with everything over Thanksgiving. So I'm just really thankful for everything that's happened through Thanksgiving. But yeah, we were talking about these visions and stuff, and this thing's just happening, like the last time God gave me the visions, it was when we were actually driving, going back home from Miami. And we were driving past this lake that I really loved looking at. It's a huge lake. It's probably on like, I don't know. I know the people that own it own like 1,500 acres, right? And this lake takes up probably like 200 of it. So it's a really big lake. Don't ask me how I know. I just know. And it's a very beautiful lake because when the sun rises, I mean, it's just like, it's gorgeous, right? And so whatever time that God had showed me the visions, he showed me when I was passing this lake, which I always think about owning at one point in time or at some point, because it's just so beautiful, right? And so all of the visions that he gave, it, I don't know if y'all do know. Y'all know when y'all watch a movie and it's like either somebody's about to pass away and it's just like they just have all these flashes of memories, or they're somebody's looking into the future or something, and it's just like all of these flashes of these pictures and stuff and memories, or whatever, things that are supposed to happen. That's essentially how he gave it to me as well. It's like he gave me like several things that are going to come to pass, right? And it all started with one of the blessings first. So I was telling Brendan about that and everything, and then when we were passing this or coming up to, we didn't actually pass it yet, but we were approaching, kind of, sort of, I guess not really, it was probably a little bit of ways away, meaning probably like 5 miles out or so, from this lake. We heard the camera go off again, and well, not again, because this is now yesterday, which is Black Friday, and we heard the camera like notified us or whatever that it was going off, but this time it was the front door. And I'm like, who is at our front door? Like, I'm not expecting no packages, but I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Brendan could have ordered something, whatever. And he's driving, so he's not looking. So I look and I see that this man is placing dominoes at our front door. And I'm like, dominoes? Like, sir, so I'm like frantically trying to like click on the mic and everything and like be like, sir. But by this time, he's already halfway down the driveway. I know he can't hear me. But still, I was just trying to like catch his attention. Like, sir, we didn't order that. Like, hello. I'm screaming into the phone. And he just, again, he walked pretty fast. So he was gone and he was already in his car, and he was sitting there in the car for a couple of seconds. And even while he was sitting in the car, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying to get my car because my car is there. So I'm trying to like set off the alarm to go. And in this area now, by this time we have done reached the lake now. And at this time I'm just like trying to, there's not very good reception over there. So usually when I talk to, like, I know when I talk to my cousin, like coming back home from work, she usually can't hear me at that point in time. So I know the reception is not that good. And so me trying to set my car alarm going off, it didn't even go through because I just don't have reception over there. So I was just like, oh my gosh, that's probably why he didn't hear me either, because it's probably, it shows that I'm talking, but it's probably not really talking, So it was just like so many things that I'm just like frantically trying to do all of these things, right? So then I'm just like, oh crap, like he drives off. Now he's backing down the driveway, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, I feel bad because, yeah, we're probably about, I don't know, maybe 20-ish, 25 minutes away. Not really, probably like 20 minutes out from the house. But I'm like, I don't want that food just like sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we're a little bit more than 20 minutes away. But either way, I'm just like, I don't want that food just like sitting there. So I text the neighbor and I'm like, you know what? Maybe he just dropped it off at the wrong house. Like, well, clearly because we ain't order it. But I was like, maybe it's one of the neighbors. So I text the neighbor that's not directly across the street, but next door to the one directly across the street from us. And I'm like, hey, did y'all order Domino's? And she was like, first of all, she didn't text back right away. She texted back probably like 10 minutes later or so. And at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's texting back kind of late. But I still, she answered. She was like, no. And I was just like, oh, okay, because somebody just dropped off Domino's at our house and we're not there. And I feel bad that it's just sitting there outside because it's been sitting there since I texted you. So I was like, I mean, if y'all want it, y'all can have it. And then she was like, oh, we're not home. We're going to go pick up our daughter. And I'm like, oh, crap. So then I was like, well, I don't have our direct next door neighbor. I said, I don't have their number, but if you want to call them and tell them, like, because they're like real close. I was like, if you want to call them and tell them, then they can have it. Because usually they're always home. Like somebody's always there. So she said, oh, okay, I will. But then I never got anything back. So Yeah, so we get to the house and it's still sitting there because I didn't know if the neighbor actually came, our direct neighbor came over and got it because she didn't say anything. Our other neighbor didn't say anything. So, but it was still there when we got there. So we got there. Well, the camera would have picked it up, so I knew it was kind of still there. But anyway, so we got there, we got home, and we picked up, the food and everything, and what Brennan did, and Brennan was like, "Yeah, it's 2 pizzas in there." I was like, "2? Like, what?" And he was like, "Yeah, 2 pizzas in there," and he was like, "They're pepperoni," and I was like, "Okay." So mind you, I really didn't want it. I actually wanted my Thanksgiving food, so I didn't want the pizza. But he ate the pizza, and today I was just thinking about it, and I was just like, isn't that just like God to just pull up so suddenly? Like, I mean, he pulled up suddenly with overflow. Oh, mind y'all. So let me back up a little bit. So before my neighbor answered to my text, Brenda was like, why don't you call the Domino's and see if they, tell them that somebody dropped it off. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. But in my head, I was kind of like, how do I know which Domino's? Like, I don't know. I don't even know where Domino's is because, again, we don't order from Domino's. So I looked and I seen that there was a lot. There was not a lot, but there was a lot. There's a lot here in this city or whatever. So I called the nearest one, and the girl pretty much kind of like dismissed me altogether. She was just like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. You can keep it." Didn't even try to look. I don't even know if she even looked. I think she did ask me for the address, but she was essentially just like, "Oh yeah, you can keep it. It's fine. Oh, thank you." And I was like, "Okay." So then I called the next closest one, and mind you, there was like another one like around the corner from that one. But I was like, look, if this dude here is probably like this first person that I just called, I'm not even gonna do it, right? I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm not calling nobody else. So I called the second location, and the dude, he was just like, "Yeah, what's your address?" So I told him the address. He got the address wrong. I told him it again, and he was just like, "Yeah, I don't even see anybody with a delivery over there. So yeah, I mean, thanks for telling us, but yeah." So I was like, you know what? I'm not telling anybody else. I was like, I'm just gonna pray and hope that, at this time that our neighbor is gonna respond back. But again, I mean, she did, but they clearly didn't get it because we did. So anyway, like I was saying, I was just thinking, sitting here, I was just like, ain't it just like God for him to come through at the last moment, like right before night falls, he comes through with a delivery at our door with more than what we even order for ourselves. And it was free. It was free. It was free food, but it wasn't even in the sense of like just it being food. Like if you think about it, right? We don't even order from Domino's. So he delivered from a place that we don't even order from, right? But then we don't even order 2 boxes of pizza. Like we order 1 large pizza for us, and that's it. We don't order no drink. We don't order nothing. We just order one large pizza for us. God came through with not 1 but 2 pizzas, a large pizza and a medium pizza, and it was what we order. we order pepperoni pizza. He came through with 2 pepperoni pizzas. But that's not all. He also gave us a whole 2-liter soda. Now it's Coke. We don't drink Coke. We don't even really drink soda. But still, I was just like, God, like, you came through suddenly out of nowhere. Because we clearly wasn't expecting it. We didn't order it. Nobody else around us clearly ordered it. They wasn't expecting it. But I'm just like, God, like, you came through with all of this with overflow. And when I tell y'all, there wasn't even a receipt in the bag. Y'all know how usually there's like a receipt on the box or something, or the name. There was nothing. There is no names on those pizzas. There was no receipt that was in that bag. I looked. There was no receipt. There's nothing. So I was like, this had to have come from God, because who else just randomly picks a house to deliver food to? Like, and what's amazing is that we didn't even need the food. So it's just like, God, I don't know if y'all have ever seen that video on I don't know if it's YouTube I've been seeing or whatever, where they say like, oh, God is, when God gives you more than you ask for, and it's like an Asian man and he has a bowl in his hand, and like everybody is just pouring, just like keep giving him more food. I feel like that is what God is doing. Like, he is about to come through with the visions. Like, things are going to come to pass. When I tell y'all something else, somebody randomly told me something after I reached out to them about something completely different. I was just like, God, confirmation again, third time confirmation. But I mean, it's just like, he's about to come through suddenly. So all I'm saying is that for whoever is out there thinking 2024 is over, for whoever is out there thinking that God can't do it, it's already 10 o'clock at night, for whoever is thinking that it's too late, for whoever is thinking that it just can't happen now, y'all need to keep your faith. You hear me? Because God is about to come through, and he is about to come through with overflow. He is about to come through with more than enough. He is about to come through at the last minute. You hear me? And it's going to be right on time. Even though you think it's the last minute, it's still going to be right on time. So that is all I really wanted to tell y'all today. I just was blown. I was just sitting here just like, that's amazing. Of course God is good, but God is just so amazing that he just came through, and he came through suddenly, just like the chains that broke off of Paul's hand when he was in jail, suddenly. Just like when the Holy Spirit came suddenly. Let me tell y'all, suddenly, you hear me? God is about to come through suddenly with the exceeding and the abundance and the prosperity. It's going to be so sudden. Y'all just be ready, and be in expectancy, because 2024 is not over. This day is not over. I don't know what time it is, but you still probably I know you got at least 6 more hours in this day, and you still got a whole another 31 days to go, because December 1st is tomorrow. So God can do it, and he could do it quickly. He could do it suddenly. He could do it abundantly. He could do it so good, more than what you even asked for. He delivered on what we didn't even ask for, and he delivered. Okay, so that's all. I'm not gonna get y'all peace sign, because then that means I have to move this camera, and then y'all gonna see my my hair. But yeah, I hope y'all had an amazing Thanksgiving, and y'all are going to have an amazing. I already know God's gonna come through for you suddenly before 2024 ends. Bye.